What's up, YouTube? Appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now, before we get into the video, I want to say I appreciate everybody who hit that like button. It really helps me out with YouTube's algorithm. So if you are interested in NBA YoungBoy's case and you want to stay tuned and updated to, what's going to happen on Friday or any other day, past that, just hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button so you could be, tuned into it. And basically, if you're not, caught up on the whole situation, I've been covering it, since the beginning, so y'all can just watch my previous videos. Now, in this new update, the lawyer ended up going to, YB's court date, and, he got a full understanding of, what's really going on. And he ended up, speaking on the fact of, the person in Utah that, saying they knew YB since, they was little and they used to comfort them, back then, YB ended up giving, her like $500,000, over the course of the month. So when he comes off a bond, the judge know that, he has a safe, person that he's with in a safe area that, with the studio and the Marines and stuff like that. So, he'll be good. He's just trying to make it, look real good for the judge. So, he can basically just get off bond. So the lawyer ended up saying like the feds and stuff, they kind of got a weak case, and he felt like, they kind of targeted him from the beginning. It wasn't really, what it actually seemed like it was. So, they ended up having him, I guess, in the car for 6 hours. He was the only one to, for them to, really target and have them, sit in the car for that long. And because, they knew what they was going to do, from the beginning. But I'm going to let him explain it. Y'all just watch the video and let me know y'all opinion in the comment section below.
And we got the NBA YoungBoy update. Today was the second day in the hearing on his motion to suppress. Minutes before the hearing started at 1 p.m. today, Louisiana time, the government filed an emergency motion concerning YoungBoy's appeal for a bond. What the government is arguing is that this person in Utah who testified that she's known YoungBoy since he was 11 years old, that she has previously, during difficult times in his life, had him come to Utah, provided him a support system and a safe place where he could be away from all the violence, all the dangers in his life. They're saying that, yeah, all that might be true, but something else is true, which is that YoungBoy's businesses have transferred over $500,000 to this person in just the past couple of months. And so the government then tries to argue to the judge that this is evidence that this guy is essentially just like some rich dude trying to buy himself a bond, and that the person in Utah can't be trusted because she's just in it for the money. This is a hella weak argument for a number of reasons. First off, under the federal law, the law is you get a bond if we can put a set of conditions in place that's going to ensure that you come back to court, and that's going to ensure that you're not a danger to society. In this case, the fact that he's paying $20,000 a week to private security to monitor him, the fact that he might have paid $500,000 to someone in Utah to put up together a support system in a place where he can stay, all that, in fact, it strengthens his case for a bond, because that money is ensuring a set of conditions that is going to make sure that he comes back to court, and it's going to make sure that people and the society is protected from him. The fact that he's putting all that money up helps him satisfy the conditions that the federal law looks for. The government is being awfully petty on this point. Their other argument that the fact that he's transferred money to this woman just shows that she can't be trusted. No, money motivates people. The fact that he's transferring money to this woman means that as long as she's there and she keeps him safe, we can be trusted that she's going to do what she's expected to do. So I think this is a weak argument. I don't think this undercuts their bail position. Turning to the motion, if we can put a set of conditions in place to suppress. On the motion to suppress, 2 police officers from the Baton Rouge Street Crimes Division took the stand, and they testified about their investigation at the scene of YoungBoy's arrest back in September. Very interesting strategy by the defense. So YoungBoy's lawyers got these 2 officers on the stand, and the strategy from YoungBoy's attorneys was basically try to establish a couple of things. One, these officers were not responding to a 911 call and simply investigating what the 911 caller had alerted them to. No. What the defense wanted to establish is that these officers were from the street crimes unit, that they had been working in conjunction with the FBI, and that the real goal here was not to investigate the 911 call, but it was to build a case against NBA YoungBoy and his crew and hit them with any and all charges they possibly could. I thought the defense attorneys were very successful in pointing out a couple of things. Certain of the vehicles were searched illegally, and I think the defense established that. Now, suppress. None of the evidence being used against YoungBoy was recovered from those vehicles, so those illegal searches on their own are not going to throw out the evidence against YoungBoy. But it helps to sort of build that argument that what happened here was just not within constitutional norms. It was not acceptable police. The big part of the testimony today was not just were there sort of illegal searches going on, but they wrongfully and illegally arrested NBA YoungBoy. Literally within minutes of officers arriving on the scene, one individual out of the more than 40 or 50 people who were there on the scene, one individual, only one, was put into the back of a police car, was cuffed behind the back and put into the back of a police car. You want to take a wild guess who that was? It was Kentrell Gaulden. It was NBA YoungBoy. There was many people who were not arrested. There were many people who were detained, and they were, you know, grouped up together, and they were handcuffed in the front of their hands. But one guy and only one guy got arrested before everybody else, and he got cuffed behind his back. He got put in a police car, and he stayed there for 6 hours. And that didn't really happen to anybody else. And that only happened. None of the evidence being used against YoungBoy to Kentrell. And so the defense attorney's arguments are really all about establishing that, look, these cops weren't responding to a 911 call. They were just thirsty for YoungBoy. Does all of this amount to a constitutional rights violation? Well, I'll tell you this. On Friday, Officer Barrett of the New Orleans Police Department is going to testify, and his testimony is going to be very significant because he is the officer who signed the affidavits that then were used to go get the search warrants. So his testimony is going to be huge. I would say that there's already enough there for the judge to rule in YoungBoy's favor. She could also rule against him, but look, in a case like this where you're trying to get all the evidence thrown against you, all you can really fight for is a chance. And right now, he's got a chance. See what happens Friday. We'll have a better sense of his chances at that point. I don't expect any decision on the motion to suppress anytime soon, given the amount of evidence and testimony there is. Hopefully a decision on the bail will be coming up by Friday or very shortly after that.